Let me just set the table, and then Geraldo can, of course, jump in.
I'm all in for Roe in 2028. I swear.
Well, good. At least you're not biased. So it's 2-on-1 here, just how I like it. Roe, let me ask you this. Here's the criticism. Here's the criticism. This is a bad look for the Democrats. Bragg counts as a Democrat. James counted as a Democrat in the other case, but that one's done. Now we're dealing with Bragg's case. It looks like this is a stretch at best to go after a guy that you guys are afraid you can't beat at the polls. How do you see it?
I think we've got to make the case at the polls. I mean, I don't think we should be making the case legally. And I agree with you, Chris, that this is probably the weakest of the other cases. But people care about the cost of food. They care about the cost of rent. They care about the cost of gas. They care about the fact that this country offshored manufacturing for decades and hollowed out rural and factory towns. And what are we doing on that? And I think we can beat Donald Trump saying we're going to do better on the economy, on bringing manufacturing back, and helping working class families. This is a total distraction to the core issues we need to focus on.
Now, you didn't mention what Geraldo and I have discussed on this show is now at the top of the list for both parties, the southern border. It is seen as economic, national security, and also about the fabric of the country and what we're about. It seems that the president has been stubbornly insistent on doing nothing about the problem at the southern border. Is that the issue that could beat you?
Chris, we need to have two thoughts. One, which your father actually had. When he tells the story, imagining what it was like for his parents to come to Ellis Island, and he says he imagines that the Ellis Island officer asked what would be your grandmother, what was her education, and she said 8th grade. What does your husband do? He says he's a ditch digger. He said, why are you coming to America? For economic security. What do you hope for your son? Nothing much, just that he would become governor of New York. It sent chills in this country because people understand we're an immigrant nation, and no one is making the case for what immigrants have contributed to America, the aspirational case of why we're exceptional. First, we need to start with that. Then we need to say, of course we have a secure border. Of course there has to be a process for how you come in, like my parents came in. But let's not forget what immigrants have done for America and offer that aspiration. It's not that they've poisoned the bloodstream of America.
Geraldo.
Well, I totally agree with the congressman. I think that his message that the Democrats need an aspirational message when it comes to immigration is sorely needed. He's right to bring up your pop. Where are those thinkers of the shining city on the hill? The come on, let's embrace and go forward. Let's take strength from each other. Democrats have stood for this forever. It was your grandparents also. Congressman Khanna is absolutely right. That we have to harness the energy and not make people frightened. We've got to tighten up the border. You can't have people just willy-nilly walking across with no idea of who it is and so forth. But there's plenty of room within a reasonably prudent, normal approach to incorporate this energy. We're the country that everybody wants to live in. Now, you can't have it in disorder. You can't have people we don't know who are coming. But there is still plenty of room for an aspirational message when it comes to Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty, and what we want America's future to look like, Chris.
Pop, first of all, my grandmother maybe had 8 days of education, let alone 8th grade. But the point is taken, that they came here and they didn't offer anything except their ambition and their passion to do better. And that is something that is signature America. But you know what Pop would have offered up, which is what you guys should be thinking about, Roe, which is they came through Ellis Island. That was the processing center. You should have a dozen of those along the southern border. You guys need infrastructure to process. I'm fine with the dream. It's the reality, though, Roe, that they are pouring through right now, overwhelming the CBP. Catch and release is like the worst policy in America right now, and it is on Biden's watch and in his lap. Why isn't he doing anything? Even if he gets hung up in the courts, Congressman, even if he does, at least he'd show that he's trying.
Look, I agree with you that there has to be an orderly process. There has to be a secure border. My parents came here as immigrants, and my father came to study at the University of Michigan. He got a student visa, then he got a green card, then they became citizens. That is the process by which America has people come in, and we can't take everyone. I'm glad that there's a line of people who want to come here instead of going to China or Europe with its stagnant economy. It's because we're the greatest country in the world, but there has to be a process. Now, the challenge has been that Congress hasn't acted. You want to create those processing centers. You want to have more Border Patrol agents, which I do. You want to have more people actually process before they get to the border. Then let's do that. But we've got to have Congress to pass a bill to do that, to fund the infrastructure that you're talking about.
Biden could shut it down by emergency order.
Well, look, but the emergency order, then there's no process. I mean, then where is the process and where is the people who are legitimate, not those who are coming without
stop the hemorrhaging.
Aspiration?
Stop the hemorrhaging,
well, I think what we need
and then
is
let the process catch up. Then you turn around to Congress and say, I stopped the flow. It's closed right now. Now give me what I need, give the CBP what they need so we can get the processing in place. But you got to stop the flow first.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.